Hi, I'm Catherine. I am starting this channel kind of vlog thing about my journey with vulvodynia. This is hopefully so I can help at least one other person know that they're not alone, that's suffering through this, because I know how hard it is when nobody understands what you're going through or how much pain you're in and why you can't do normal day-to-day things. So I'm just starting this to try and help other people suffering with the same condition. So I guess this first episode will be kind of my journey on how I found out what I had, the steps I had to go through, and what I'm doing now. To start off, vulvodynia, the most generalized definition of vulvodynia is unexplained chronic pain in the vagina and around the vaginal opening. There's different types. I have unprovoked generalized vulvodynia, which means that mine is, I get pain all around my vagina and inside, and it feels the best way I have found to describe how my pain feels. Everybody's pain is different. My pain feels like someone's pouring acid in me and stabbing me with sharp knives at the same time. That's the best way I can describe how my pain feels. And I live with that all day long, every day, all night. Sometimes I can get the pain to just stay around a 4 out of 10 most days or most of the day, but it does have a lot of times where the pain will spike from 4 all the way up to a 10, and that could last all day or a couple days or sometimes just an hour. It's just, I have no clue what is causing it to flare up, but that's just what mine does. So I first started having symptoms in January of 2018. So right now is September of 2020. So it's almost been 2 years, less than 2 years. So in January, I started getting, I've had UTIs growing up. I've had chronic UTIs. I get at least 3 a year. So in January, the beginning of January, when I had a UTI, I was like, oh, just another UTI, and I'll take the antibiotics for it and be fine. So I took the antibiotics. They didn't work, so I went back to the doctor, and they said that the antibiotics weren't strong enough. So I had to take another round of antibiotics. And then during this time, while I still had the UTI, I had a pipe burst in my house, and it completely flooded almost all downstairs, all our bathrooms, everything. And you might not think that this is important, but apparently stress is a big trigger on vulvodynia. So if anything big stressful happens, it could start this condition in your body. Like, it could have just been waiting there, then something super stressful happens, and boom, you're basically in hell. So my house flooded, and basically right after that, the pain of the UTI went from normal UTI all the way up to I had no idea what was going on. I was in the worst pain of my life. I didn't know what was happening. So I went back to the doctor. They kept giving me tests. They take my urine, they do blood tests, and they're like, oh, you know what? It's probably just a yeast infection. So we'll give you this medicine before the tests get back. And of course, I take the medicine, nothing worked. They're like, oh, you know what? Maybe it is just another UTI. And so yet again, more antibiotics. Okay, so after this, after going back 3 or 4 times to the same doctor, I decided I needed to see someone else. So I went to the hospital, and mind you, this is before all corona pandemic, the whole crisis. So I went to the hospital, and they did a whole bunch of tests on me, and they concluded with their brilliance that it was a UTI, of course, which I did not have. But they tried to give me antibiotics for it again, and of course, nothing worked. So then I went to a gynecologist. Well, gynecologists don't really know too much about vulvodynia. Usually only people that study it specifically know anything about it or the symptoms. So my gynecologist, he had no clue what was wrong, of course. I had so many exams that were so painful. I'd be screaming and crying in the office. They'd have to have the nurses come in and hold me down and tell me it's okay. It's okay. Even, you know what? I have to tell you this. Okay, so if you have pain like I didn't know this at the time, but if you have this amount of pain and a doctor wants to do an exam on you, a pap smear, you have the right to tell them no. Do not let them do an exam if you're in that much pain. It was excruciating, so horrible. And of course, the results always came back inconclusive. We have no idea what's wrong with you, blah, blah, blah. So this whole time I've been in pain, excruciating pain, and they tried different things. They tried like painkiller. They tried to tell me to take ibuprofen, which if you have ever had vulvodynia or if you're suffering through it right now, you know ibuprofen doesn't do anything. It's basically a placebo. So I was trying anything alternative at the same time because I didn't know what to do. I was reading stuff online about people who had pain and then did certain diets and took away certain things. So I tried the keto, I tried vegan, I tried gluten-free, I tried basically every kind of weird diet or anything you could think of to try and get rid of this pain. And so since the gynecologist had no idea what was wrong, he sent me to a urologist. So I finally got an appointment with a urologist, went in there. They had no idea what was wrong with me. They thought maybe I had interstitial cystitis, which is more of a bladder problem, and that's not what I have. Then they thought maybe I was just having some kind of like some cysts and ovarian cysts, and then maybe something leaked, but no one had any idea. And I felt like I was just going through like a carousel of doctors not knowing what to do with me. So after all the tests with the urologist, nothing ever came out of it. So I went and saw a different doctor. This one was just a normal primary care doctor, and they said the same thing. They don't know what's wrong. They tried to tell me I had UTIs, blah, blah, blah. After that, I spent countless hours online researching different symptoms that I had and what it could possibly be. And I finally came across vulvodynia. And so I was like, wow, this sounds almost exactly like what I have. So I went to my gynecologist and told him, and that's when it sort of clicked in his brain and said, oh yeah, maybe you have vulvodynia. So I went and looked up a specialist. The closest specialist to me for vulvodynia was, I think it's about 3 hours away from me. So my doctor right now is 3 hours away. The next closest was about 5 hours plus away. So yeah, there's not that many doctors. But I looked her up and I went to go see her, and I felt so much better, so much better. She knew what I had. She knew different treatments to try. She was so much more knowledgeable about everything. So definitely I recommend you guys find a specialist and go see them because they will know how to help you. I tried physical therapy. They have special pelvic therapists where they try and use dilators or internal massage to help the walls of your vagina. So maybe like the muscles are too tense, so they try and make that less tense. And it should, for some people, that actually helps. And that could help make the pain go all the way down to a 1 or 0. You know, just having those those like weekly massages, because their pain might be coming from their muscles being way too tense. The physical therapy did not work on me. So we tried another thing. We tried the amitriptyline. We've tried, that's a nerve blocker. And that works for some people in combination with other medicines. Right now I'm using gabapentin, and that is a antidepressant slash nerve kind of blocker. It does both. So right now that's helping, and I have a cream that I got. It's a compound cream. It has lidocaine, gabapentin, and baclofen, I think is what it is. Anyways, that cream has been helping me a lot. I put that on multiple times a day, like around 4 times a day, maybe more depending on my pain. And that one seems to help a lot. My pain is still here. Don't get me wrong. I have had horrible days. This whole past week, my pain's been steadily at an 8 or higher this last week, sorry. So even if you do get good days with your medicine, you will still have bad days. And I'm also trying to eliminate all the metals, the heavy metals from my diet, because I also heard a story that it helped someone else with vulvodynia. So I'm trying that right now. I'll let you know how that works out. That's pretty much my story so far. Just like a basic general overview of what's going on. And I still go to my doctor. They have been doing mostly phone visits lately because of the corona, which is okay with me because it's better than driving 3 hours. But things have been a lot harder after this pandemic started. It's harder to go in to see my doctors, to get care when I need it. So that has been pretty tough, but I am starting to basically accept that I'm going to have to live with this for the rest of my life. Vulvodynia is not something that has a cure or a vaccine. It either goes away or it doesn't. Some people get lucky and it goes away within a couple months and never comes back for them. Some people can actually get surgery to get it's like the damaged tissue removed from your vagina, but that's only for localized vulvodynia, and that would not work for the condition that I have. So I can't even get surgery. But even then, the surgery only works about 50% of the time or something super low like that. I don't know the exact statistic. I'll have to get the data for you and give you next time. But totally lost what I was talking about. That's okay. Anyway, so I just wanted to give you a brief little story about myself, and I'm going to be trying to post videos as often as possible to let you know how I'm getting through the day-to-day pain and different obstacles I have to get through and manage. But I definitely just want to say, if you are suffering with vulvodynia or any kind of chronic pain, you're not alone. And even if you feel kind of awkward talking about it, talk to someone, talk to a medical professional about what you have. Talk to your parent about what you have. If you're, a teenager, younger, talk to anybody to get help, because you should not have to suffer with this alone. Luckily, I was used to UTIs, so I wasn't really afraid of talking about pain in my vagina. But for other people, it is a lot harder. And since it is an invisible condition, no one ever believes you when they say you're in pain. So even if the doctors tell you, you're imagining it, you should go see a psychiatrist instead, or, just drink more water, or do some yoga. If anyone tells you that, oh my gosh, just let it slide right off you, because I have gotten that all the time. People thinking I don't really have anything wrong with me, that I'm just making it up. But yeah, luckily my husband's very supportive about it, and he helps me, because this is a condition that does affect your sex life dramatically. So it is important that if you have a loved one, that they understand exactly what you're going through. So don't hide from them what pain you're having and, how you're feeling that day. It's just better to tell them the truth and let them know what you're going through. I feel like I'm rambling now, so I'll cut this video short right now. So please, if you guys have any questions about what you're going through, just, message me, write it in the comments, anything. I don't really care, as long as if you need help and you have a question, feel free to ask me, because I don't want anyone else to have to go through so many doctors, so many years of so much pain before they actually get help. So if you have any questions, just let me know. And thank you so much for watching. All right, stay strong. Bye.